What's going on, everyone? Odie Matthews here, and today we are taking a look at the Cannae Sarcina Expedition Pack. Not gonna lie, the first time I read that name, I thought it said Sriracha, and I was like, oh, Sriracha like the hot sauce, that's a cool name, and then I realized it's Sarcina, or Sarcina, or Sarcina, or Sarcina. I'm really not sure how you say it, but this is the Expedition Pack from Cannae, and let's get into it. Alright, this is a 34-liter Pedora nylon backpack. Now this, as many of you are probably looking at it going, that looks like something that a military person would have. And you're absolutely correct. Cannae company is more of a military kind of survival, outdoorsy type company. These bags aren't really designed for travel, but you can most definitely use them for that. This color is definitely more of an outdoor, hikey, gear hauler color, but it does come in other colors like black and blue and things that you might be more inclined to use for travel if you like that aesthetic. Or maybe you like the desert tan, olive drab type colors, and you're okay with traveling with that. It's whatever fits your preference. So I've used this bag for travel a couple times and it was pretty functional and really great. I personally would use this only as a hiking bag for the way I like to run things because it's perfect in the amount of space it has and how much it allows you to carry. So with that, let's get into some more features on this bag. Okay, so normally I would start with the handle, but the first thing I want to talk about is these buckles. Because if you look at them, they're plastic. And everyone would say, oh, those are probably really cheap. And you know what? They feel really cheap. But you know what? You know what? They aren't. I mean, they are, but they aren't. It has that cheap feel, but they've gone through a lot, especially with this bag that I've had, and they haven't worn down. They still work perfectly fine. They feel nice. I mean, they have that cheap feel to them. And not everything has to have like that Wanted Provoke giant metal handle that you could beat people over the head with. By the way, check out my Wanted Provoke 21-liter bag review. I'm not plugging it all. Might pop it up. Who knows? But this is still a pretty good feature. All the clips on this bag, there's 4 on the front and 1 on the side. You know, they are that plasticky feel, but they function perfectly. So keep that in mind if that's like a turnoff for you. Another thing to keep in mind is this handle. This handle is like a webbing-ish material, like always, with a nice foam in the middle that's kind of stitched between. Now, most of you might be thinking, oh, this is kind of a small handle. Yeah, it is. Other thing to note is the only handle on this bag. So one point of access in order to grab this bag. So keep that also in mind if you're putting this in the back of a car or up a top of the airplane things. I can never figure out what those things are called. Someone put in the comments what those things are called and call me stupid for not knowing, because I should know. But this handle, it still feels nice. I mean, it's a good grip. This bag is a little heavy right now with everything I have in it, and this handle still feels nice. It's just a bummer that because the way they have these side pockets and what's on the bottom, that there's not another kind of side access handle, which is always nice to have in a bag. Another thing is these straps. These kind of have that like honeycomb mesh for breathability, have a nice feel to them, not too rigid, not too soft. Really good feeling straps, and when you put this thing on, and I have this packed out for travel right now, and for size, I am roughly 5'8", 5'9"-ish, 160-ish pounds, and this bag is super comfortable, and I really like the way it carries. It feels nice, it doesn't really hurt the shoulders, it's got a really nice sternum strap. Oops, there we go. Really nice sternum strap that has a really cool feature. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But you know, when you're carrying this bag, it feels nice. I really like the way it carries. I like the way the weight is distributed on my shoulders, and it feels snug up against the back. And there's another reason for that, which we'll get into when we get into the pockets, of why it feels kind of nice against the back. And another thing about this sternum strap is it's got this elastic bit here with the normal webbing, so when you grab it, it kind of has a little bit of a stretch. So you can kind of set this to how tight you want it, stretch it over, and then as you move, it'll allow you to have a little bit of give, but then it'll snap right back to where you want it. That's an awesome feature. I really like that. Another thing on this strap to notice is because this is kind of like a survival outdoor type company, there's a whistle built in on this clip that you can use if you see something and you want to whistle at it, or if you're being chased. Or if you are being chased and you see something you want to whistle at. I mean, who knows? Okay, and as for this back panel, it's got good airflow. It feels nice up against the back. And the reason for that is because there's a compartment back here. And now Cannae uses this for their concealed carry. You're supposed to be able to put a gun in there, Obviously, you're not doing that if you're going on travel with an airplane, and if you're crossing state lines, I probably wouldn't do that either. But you can use this for a lot of different things. One of the features is if you're hiking, you can put a camelback, and then there's a pass-through on the sternum strap, so you can be used for that. I would use this as like a tablet sleeve, or for business papers, or for folders, or maybe for like a passport, a wallet, extra money, things that you want nice and snug up against your back, because a lot of the bags we've looked at have that secret compartment on the back that allow you to put like your passport or valuables in. This thing is the whole back of the bag. It basically functions as that. So that's a really nice feature too. And these zippers, and I will try to show you the best I can, they are lockable. So you can put a lock on there if you're extra security worried, which is really nice because there's not a lot of zippers on this bag, as we'll get into. And while we're talking about these zippers, these zipper pulls, small, just a kind of like a plasticky, but man, like I said, there's not a lot of zippers on this bag, but these, they feel nice. The zipper pulls are really nice. It's like just the perfect amount for like your thumb just to get in there and rip it. I love it. Okay, so this is a roll top bag, which means that everything you're gonna get through it, besides the side access part that you have, is from the top of this bag, which means you are constantly unbuckling, opening, and then you have a giant chasm. Now, one thing that I did to my bag, which is a little bit of an extra tip, and I will link this below because I suggest you get it. It's only like, I think it was less than 10 bucks, maybe it's 10 bucks for a 2-pack on Amazon, is this little green pouch. It kind of matches. I know the aesthetic isn't perfect, but that's why it's hidden. There isn't a lot of external organization or quick access on this bag. So what I did is I made my own little quick access bag where I would put whatever I want easy access to. Snacks, cards, phone, headphones, whatever I might want right there. It's right at the top, and I don't have to go digging in here or passing or filling up this space or using the side space. It's just right there. So I'll link this below. It's on Amazon. It's super cheap and it's a really cool addition to this bag. But if you didn't want to get something like this, there is mole attachments on this. So you could put whatever you want here. If you want to get a bigger one, a smaller one, or maybe like a holster for like a flashlight or something like that. You have access to the mole. I don't like saying that word. That just doesn't feel natural right here. Okay, so before we get everything that's inside the bag, let us take a look at the outside of the bag, starting with this little pocket over here. Little clippy dip. And this is perfect for sunglasses. Just a nice little padded pocket. I'm not really worried about it. I mean, most of the time, you like that quick access at the top where it's like mesh and it's, or nylon or something like that, like a nice felty type material, and it's like up on the bag and it's not gonna get damaged. But even with this being on the side, it's a really good, it's got some padding. It's got some padding and it's actually like felt lined on the inside, or fleece rather, sorry, excuse me. And it's really perfect for sunglasses. I mean, it's kind of a big pocket, so you could use it for other things if you wanted to, but as far as a sunglass pouch, that is just perfect, because if you're inside an airport, you don't really need quick access to your sunglasses unless it's bright inside the airport, but I don't think it is. So that's a really good sunglass compartment right there. And this is also where that side access I was talking about to the inside of the bag is. So you do have this, but it takes up most of the space that's along the bag. So everything you put in this bag is basically going to fall down to the bottom because it's a roll top, and there's really no internal organization in the main compartment. So packing cubes and pouches are going to be your best friend when it comes to this bag. But we will get into that in a second. So flipping around to this side is this mesh water bottle pocket. I got my Camelback chute. It fits in there perfectly. It's very nice, but it is a little flimsy. Like I was talking about last week with the Peak Design travel bag, those water bottle pockets are deep and nice, and your water bottle is just so snug. It's like it's on a inside a gravity blanket. This, however, kind of has that whole, it can kind of pop out feel, depending on what you're using this bag for, depending on how much you turn and twist and bend and shout, twist and shout, Beatles. This could potentially be an issue, but I mean, honestly, for basic travel, I don't think many of us are going. What? I don't think it's that big of an issue, but just keep that in mind that it's not like super tight. So smaller water bottle or like a giant one that maybe like stretches out a lot could potentially fall over if you got one of those like big liter jugs because you drink water like you're Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So that is the water bottle pocket. And then we move to the only other pouch on the outside of this bag. And this is where my biggest complaint with this bag comes in. It's Velcro and it's buckled. I think that's overkill. What I typically do, and I just don't have them, is I have patches, just 2 patches that I put over this Velcro so this doesn't rip, because that is the most annoying sound on earth. Just Velcro ripping. Every time you gotta get in this bag, you're not only undoing the buckles, but then you gotta rip the Velcro. That's not fun. So, I mean, maybe another piece of, something that you can put over this to kind of stop the Velcro, because you don't need that. That's just absolute overkill, and honestly, not my favorite thing in the world. Other than that, this pouch has a little bit of built-in dimension, not a lot. It's about yay deep, and it has 2 tiny organization things on the inside, and that's it. But anything you put in here, there's not a lot of dimension. So I honestly don't put anything in here unless I'm using it for like hiking or something, because it's just hard to get into and there's not a lot of space in it. But if you have like some snack bars, Admiral snack bars, this would be a good place to put them. So that is what I would assume is supposed to be the quick access on this bag, but I made my own. And with that, we will lift this up. And keep in mind, as a roll top, you can, if you really wanted to, you can't pack this thing out a lot to where it sticks up like that, if you needed to, because the roll top will give you some extra space. But you've got a nice little tie where you can kind of cinch up the top of the bag if you need to keep everything nice and tight up top, high and tight. Oh, shoot me, I hate that reference. Okay, so let's dive into the travel of this bag. So up on top, I have my SUAVS travel shoes. They're in every video, and they will be in every video because I literally take these and wear these everywhere. So get your hands on those. Links in the description below to everything that I'm mentioning. Then right up on top, I have my Peak Design Field pouch where I use all my techie thing, my portable charger, things like that. That's where that goes. And then right underneath that is my DOP kit, which is from Boundary Supply. Their Port Kit DOP kit, which is just a killer minimal, really easy to use DOP kit, which will eventually get to DOP kit videos. Okay, so the only internal organization, and I can't really show you that well, is this little mesher zipper pocket on the inside. It is that deep for scale, and it is just an extra compartment in there. No organization, no elastic bits, nothing to put anything in. It's just there. So that is, if you're running this bag, like that's why I said pouches are gonna become your best friend. Okay, so on the side here, I keep my Bluetooth headphones. The reason for that is because I use that external access right there to grab my Bluetooth headphones, which in bags that allow you to do that, that's where you want to keep the thing you're going to be grabbing the most while you're in transit, whether it be headphones or whatever you may put. That's just the one go-to that I always do is headphones, because it's right there and you can sling it over your shoulder, unzip it, grab them, and zip it back up. You don't have to worry about it, because I don't wear these around my neck because it's not 1980. Is that a good reference? Probably not. Anyways, what else do we have in this bag? We have 2 packing cubes, and then the bag just deflates. We have a Nomatic packing cube, which is a smaller one, which I put all my personal items, underwear and socks in, as well as some like gym shorts, sleep shirts, things like that. And then my main packing cube is my Peak Design, which is shirts and pants. And that is it for what's on the inside of this bag. It is just a big, empty chasm. 34 liter, just lots of space in there. And there was a lot of space left at the top. And like I said, you can also put this out more to have more space if you're a heavy traveler. And in transit, I've found with this bag, with using it as the packing cube and pouches set up, it was still really easy to get what I needed, because the only thing I really needed in transit was maybe my headphones, well, definitely my headphones, and with my field pouch right up top, if I needed to get a personal charger or like a portable charger or anything like that, it was right up top and easy to get. And actually what I would probably end up doing is putting the portable charger in here to make it even easier to get to. So as far as a travel bag goes, this works really, really well because it has the capacity to let you carry whatever you need, and also the lack of organization to an extent that stops you from carrying more than what you need. And some of you are like, that doesn't make any sense. It does in a way, because one of the things about traveling is you always end up taking too much or too little. So if you have a bag that when you fill it out, and you fill out every pocket with what you need, and it fills it to the top, you know you have everything you need as long as you have a checklist, which we'll probably do like a checklist travel video down in a couple weeks actually, because I want to do that. Because if you have a checklist of things you follow, you're not going to miss any items, because you're going to take the same thing every time. But we'll get into that in the future, because there's still a couple things left on this bag. You're probably thinking, what about laptop? Well, there's a laptop compartment on the side of the bag right here. It fits up to a 15-inch. I have my 13-inch MacBook Pro in there. And here's what I was talking about when I said it's really comfortable up against the back of your bag. Back. See how this bag just folds away? Because there's not a lot of rigidity in the back. But when you have your laptop in there, it adds kind of like a stiff board, and it keeps it nice and firm. And when it's up against your back, it just feels nice. Keeps you kind of your posture up a little bit, and it's nice. It's like a firm backboard that you can remove if you don't want it. So that's a really cool feature, and it's felt lined in there, no tablet sleeve. Like I mentioned, that's why I would probably use this back one for a tablet if I was rich and could afford one. Send me a tablet if you'd like to. And then the last thing we have on the bottom of this bag is the last straps. And this is so you can put like a yoga mat, tripod, things of that nature, jacket on the bottom. Actually, I ran my jacket on the bottom of this because it was just easier than putting it on the inside of the bag. And honestly, that is it. That's all there is to this bag. It's so simple and easy. And like I said, I use this for like camping and hiking because I can put a sleeping bag in here, one of my small packing cubes for clothes, some extra gear, and then, you know, the tent. It's a really small 2-man tent, so, you know, I usually put it on the bottom or, you know, put it in someone else's bag because I'm lazy. And honestly, this bag works for that. So it is a good hiking bag, is a good camping bag, is a good gear hauler. It's a great gear hauler because you have access to the gear on the side, but it fits everything. And this is a bag that if you're gonna use as a gear hauler, you don't care if it gets messed up. You really don't. Like if you had like a nice bag, like maybe the Peak design, that's because it's just fresh in my mind because we just did it. That's a bag that I wouldn't want to get scuffed and messed up and dirty because it looks nice, it looks great. But this bag, you know, it's like, it looks like it's built for that kind of stuff. So I really like that. Also, real quick, I want to note, Cannae's logo is really small. Just in the middle of the bag, looks like a shield. It says Cannae, and then it has like their really cool little logo thing. I really like that. I really like minimal branding on bags because I just think it speaks a lot to the company. It's like, hey, like, there's our logo, but we care more about the bag than you recognizing us. In a way, that's how I look at it. Maybe you look at it differently, but I really like the minimal branding logo on there. But realistically, that is it. As a daily carry, I would advise against it because just having a giant chasm of, you know, emptiness. I mean, how much are you taking to the cafe? How much are you taking to work that you would need a 34-liter roll top bag? I don't think it works as that. Maybe you can find it differently for that, but personally, I tried it once and I just wasn't a fan because I'm not taking a lot of stuff wherever I'm going. Even if I'm gonna go like to the gym or do something after work and I have to change, like a shirt and shorts or shirt and pants aren't gonna fill out this bag enough to justify taking all of this. But as a travel bag, as you can see, even with a very small loadout, there's plenty of room left over for more stuff if you're a heavier packer. And that is perfect because I know most people are going to be heavier packers. And that's okay because this bag expands about to 40 liters, which is your typical travel bag size. It's also carry-on compatible, which is perfect and solves a lot of problems. It's really short and simple. This is a great bag. It's a good company. And I really like what they stand for, as I always do. It's a veteran supporting company, which I think is amazing. I love companies that support veterans or military. I think that's amazing and speaks a lot to their character, especially when these bags are definitely, if you look on the website, most of these bags are definitely designed and geared towards veterans that like that kind of tactical-esque bag. But this one definitely works for the regular go-getter, regular Joe Schmo, if you get in whatever color you like. I mean, honestly, this isn't a bad color either. For travel, I'd probably go with black, just because that's the easiest color and kind of blends in, just blend into the background. Because that's what Mom always said. Blend into the background, don't make a scene, and don't try hard. Just kidding, she didn't say that. But with that, if you have any questions, like to see more about this bag, put them in the comments below. As always, I will do my best to answer every single one and get you as much more information as you possibly need. I appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for nothing because next week there'll be another video. If that didn't make any sense, see you next time.